Hey guys, it's Mr. Dragon000 here, back with Automation, the car company Tycoon game, and what you're seeing right now is one of my latest builds called the Villis Heaper 203. This vehicle appears to be the cheapest yet drivable vehicle in the game of all time. With its carbureted engine and janky styling, you can obviously tell it's a cheap car that came straight out of a third world country. Don't let Villis' trademark eyeball, headlight, and grille placement catch your attention because it may seem interesting for a vehicle like this, despite the lack in quality for this car. You're going to be surprised at how much this vehicle costs, which I'm going to show you in a little bit. The body that I've used to make this greatest piece of car is made by a modder named Gizmo Props in his 60s Oil Crisis microcar mod file. The link to download this is down in the description, and it's available in the Automation Steam Workshop. It has a lap time of 4 minutes, 50 seconds, 71 milliseconds at the quote-unquote Top Gear test track, and 9 minutes, 2 seconds, 87 milliseconds, and has a top speed of 30.8 miles per hour. This vehicle is powered by a horrendous 203cc inline 3 engine that produces 2.1 horsepower and 5.6 pounds-feet of torque. It has a fuel efficiency rating of a surprising 72.2 miles per gallon, weighs 554.3 pounds or 251.4 kilograms, and costs a bank account friendly $3,360. And for the market, due to the lack of performance and quality that was rightfully ignored into creating this vehicle, it doesn't compete with anyone in the market. In terms of how I made the Heaper, the panel material will be made out of cheap-ass steel with a ladder chassis also made out of steel. With a front longitudinal engine placement, and both the front and rear suspensions both use solid axle leaves with the quality at -15 to basically make this extremely cheap and extremely unreliable. For the engine, this is pretty small. We're using an inline 3 engine, like I said, made out of cast iron, with the bore and stroke squared off to the lowest of 50 millimeters, which gets the engine size to around 295 cubic centimeters for the family engine, with pushrod headers also made out of cast iron. For the crankshaft, con rods, and pistons, everything cast, and the varying capacity is also lowered to make the engine even more cheaper, with the varying capacity at the lowest of 45 millimeters, the stroke at 42.5 millimeters to get it at 203-ish cubic centimeters. For the compression, we are using a pretty normal 9.0 to 1 ratio, with the cam profile set to a somewhat normal 20, and VVT is way too expensive at our facility, so going on to the turbocharger, which is also way too expensive, it's naturally aspirated, of course. And for the fuel system, cheap as possible, a carbureted single barrel eco with a single carburetor right here with a race intake, which I showed you this before on making cheap cars. If you'd use a standard intake, you would increase the materials cost and the production units, which makes up the final cost of the vehicle, including engineering time also. So these three here, material cost, production units, and engineering time, makes the deciding factor of how much the engine will cost you, including the vehicle itself. So kids, use a racing intake if you need to save some money on building this vehicle. And not only that, we are using ultimate fuel with the engine knocking. I found this out. If you make the engine less and less powerful, even if it's knocking, you're going to save much more money, because if there would have been no knocking whatsoever, which I think it would have been like at a 60-ish or something. All right, assuming everything is good as is at a 44, going back to the markets here, see? 3380 if the engine would have been just as fine. If I go back to as is with the ignition timing, which I think it was a 70, 3360. See? A less powerful engine means you're saving money. And the RPM limit set to the lowest of 2000 RPM, which also saves you money by doing that too. For the exhaust, everything cheap. Cast log header, single exhaust, no choice about that, with the exhaust diameter set to a 12.7 millimeters, which makes it to a ½ an inch, with no cats, no mufflers whatsoever. For the drive type, we're using a rear-wheel drive setup of a manual 2-speed with the top speed set to a 30.8 miles per hour. We know the estimated top speed is very, very inaccurate of 22.37 miles per hour, but who cares? And we're using open diffs. Who cares about this? So for the tires. The tires... So what I did was reduce the tire diameter like less and less and less to play with the tire width to get it beyond the lowest as possible, which is 85 millimeters to get 30 millimeters, which we're using chunky off-road tires running on the smallest as possible of 10-inch steel rims. Oh my god, this is so ridiculous. So for the brakes, smallest as possible, single shoe drum brakes, front and back, 160 millimeters, comfort brake type, still negative 15 all the way. So for the under tray, basic stuff. Interior, basic stuff also. So let me get rid of chassis here, which I'll do some highlighting to get rid of chassis, because if I were to spawn this in BeamNG, you'll get this right here, the chassis poking out, and the interior with the seats and everything. You can't even see the goddamn speedometer. Look at that. Chassis removed. There you go. Engine. I don't know how you can do that other than just doing this in automation. And BeamNG, I don't know. Probably leave it as is. So we're using a one-seater, basic interior, no entertainment. There's no stereo whatsoever. So for the safety and everything, no power steering, no ABS brakes, no safety, none of that good stuff. And lastly, for the suspension, standard twin-tube passive running on a normal preset with the sway bars removed. Despite a lot of problems in here, such as the car understeering, underpowered, cooling factor, ride height frequency, dampers being too hard, brake force being too high, clearance issues, knocking, tire profile, overdrive, tires narrow, clearance to the side of the engine. We're going to export this to BeamNG.drive and test out this horrendous and worst automation vehicle of all time out. So here we are at the bottom map of Garfield Heights, and what the hell is that engine sound? Is that the engine knocking? Like, it sounds like it's it sounds like I'm about to get a boost screen of death or something. So take a look at this vehicle. We got orange lights on the brake light and the reverse light, which is supposed to be our turn signals, which is kind of weird how they're that bright. The rest of the vehicle, we got the tires. Oh no, they could barely support the vehicle. And this game, they're about to like shear right off. Look at that. All four backs here, left sides, right sides. This looks pretty terrible. So nothing much in the design, front end, don't look at that for too long, even though I mentioned at the beginning of the video. And also, you do see that the chassis is also cleared up. You got a smooth back here. It's not like it's being poked out like you see in automations. I'll show you the screen here of how I got rid of chassis. It's pretty easy. You go into the mods folder in BeamNG when you export the vehicle, and you access the vehicle's mod folder, the mod file, the zip file, and go into the JBeam file of the vehicle's name that you named the vehicle, and you scroll all the way down to the flex bodies, and then change where it says chassis 1 to chassis 0 to hide the chassis, as you see right here. And ignoring the roof right here, which also the bores, if you try to compact this down in automation, you also make the vehicle cheaper. So interior wise, we got the engine right here, and we got some missing textures and colors of our little speedometer. So unfortunately, we cannot do a 0 to 60 with this thing, or a typical 60 to 0 brake test. Let's just drive now. Drive with this vehicle. We are rolling coal. First gear. We cannot go to second gear, so manually do this to second gear, and oh no, this is just like my People's Car Poverty Edition. This is about to stall out, but we're surprisingly gaining a little bit of speed here, 13 miles an hour. So we're doing much better than the People's Car Poverty Edition, my first cheap car, which I think the price tag was like $35.70, about a couple $100 more expensive than this guy. Top curb. Popping a curb didn't do nothing. So there you have it. Let me try to flip this over and show you the aftermath destruction of this vehicle. So we bent the axle at a 15-mile-an-hour collision. That is embarrassing. And even somewhat shifted the body of the vehicle too. I can't steer left. Look at this. I can't steer left, but I can steer right like it's nothing. I also want to know, can this vehicle reach top speed at the end of this road here? So let me accelerate and then just go. And whether if it's a pass or a fail, getting the top speed of this vehicle, let's run a vehicle and just basically just bash this down to a frickin' pulp. Like get a heavy vehicle like a truck or something, either a BeamNG truck, like a D-Series, H-Series, T-Series, whatever. Or use one of my automation vehicles like the Chunky Beats, my heaviest vehicle without doing any file modifications whatsoever, which was around 23 tons. And it basically takes up nearly this entire road here. So right about now, a minute has passed, and we're going 28 miles an hour. We're really close. 28 miles an hour, 27, reducing speed. Got a slight downhill, and we can reach the top speed, or a big downhill, and top speed, 30.2. So That's how fast we're gonna go? Go off the road? Can we trek this? Or... maybe. Barely trekked a steep 30-degree hill. That is impressive. Okay, how about these steps here? We're running on the track. We're really running on the track. So, steps. Wow, and we can't barely stop any steps. Can I launch this and go? Wow, we really went down like it's nothing. So we can't go up the steps. Let's just crash this out somewheres. How about this tree? Head-on collision. Everything has its interior view. 25 miles an hour, and we suffered catastrophic injury. Wow. So we shut off this buzzer B-sod of a engine off. So look at the vehicle here. Zoom in a little. We messed the back end up. We got some loose polygons over the place here with the words Heaper and 203, which is the engine size of the vehicle, just gone out in the middle of the air. Wow. Whoa, even the front end. Headlights still work? Yes, they do. The turn signals on the side, right by the eyeball headlight, they also work. Which, despite the front end collision, we do got the suspension exposed. Really? I mean, for a 25-mile-an-hour crash, like, let's do an interior view with the free cam. So, we destroyed the interior for a 25-mile-an-hour crash. That is embarrassing. How will that hold up between an automation vehicle? So, we recover and bring it back over here. You know, let's bring out the goated ATTE instead of the chunky beats. Let's just mash this, spawn new, mash this at the Heaper, and see what it'll be like against this vehicle. Look at the size difference. You got this big-ass vehicle and this small-ass vehicle. Who do you think is going to win? Let me know down below. Alright, vehicle's all set. Let's just hit accelerate, hold the T button to get a turbo boost going, and then just mash this head on. So let's stop. And I'm thinking to run this, flat out run this over. Let's see. Yes, I am. So we'll be slowed down real quick, and then hold the left stick and go. Let's see. Go. Not so bad, but here we go. We got the vehicle, flip it over, and dead. And there goes ATT way in the distance, just crashing into homes like always. So the vehicle, it somehow still runs. Radiator leaking, tire busted. How, man? Can you still drive? Oh no, oh no. Oh my god, it's having a goddamn seizure. Oh my god. Somebody call a priest, please. So anyways, interior, dead. That is it for this vehicle. We try flat out running it over. Do one more and take this down to a short time trial at like West Coast USA. You know what? Let's spice this up a little bit. Bring it out to the end of the road here. Almost the rear tire touching the grass here. And then just run it over probably around like 110 miles an hour. So let's get going and mash this son of a bitch. Maybe even more than 110. Let's see. Get ready for the pause. 160 upon collision. This is going to get really bad. So 60 times slow-mo. And here we go. We got the vehicle in sight. And here we go. Rear tires. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Now we got the rear tires involved. So, okay, we got something going on really bad right here. Is that the brakes or the transmission? I don't know. So full time. I said full time. Oh my god, that... it ripped on a goddamn pole, dude! So vehicle-wise, I think we've killed the engine. Did we? Or we're going at our Mach 10 up in here. So it appears we have successfully destroyed the vehicle. Loose polygons all over the place, having a seizure, and also the engine has been destroyed. Successfully destroyed. No survivors whatsoever. That piece is floating for some odd reason for the ATTE. What is this here? Is this supposed to be like a stripe you put out of a car or something? This goes on for quite a while. Like, how about underneath the map? Is this part of the car or the ATTE? Like, I don't know. So damage-wise, this thing, we wrapped this on the pole, tires messed up, so there you have it with that vehicle. Whatever we spawned the ATTE, is this ATE related? No, it's all Heaper. Alright, let's do a time trial. I thought about West Coast. Let's do Italy. Let's go down to Italy, which, I passed it right here. Italy. Let's do a small one. Like, through the center and do, like, 2 laps this thing. So, yeah, 2 laps this thing in the noon hours with this vehicle. So, take you to the map of Italy right now. Alright, so here I am, way behind the start and finish line, including the finish line here, and this little checkerboard, the checker flag thingy here. And we got the vehicle in question here, the Heaper that is rattling right crazy. So get ready to start the time trial off in 3, 2, 1, go. Launch was worthless, so whatever. And can it upshift? it doesn't even upshift whatsoever, so we have to manually shift the car, which is pretty stupid. And I did race this track, I think before, with the, is it the AMG Mercedes Patent Motor Wagon? Which, yeah, I think I did like a few laps on this one with the AMG Patent Motor Wagon, which I think I did that like about a year ago. Which basically, it's your old school Patent Motor Wagon, a four-wheeled version made by AMG to basically, well, compete with their modern equivalencies of high-performance cars, and that curb immobilized the vehicle. Really? Try it again. Look, 10 miles an hour, 8. I can't go up here. This is stupid. Let me find another one here, but do a short one. Still in Italy. Let's do the one I did with the People's Car. Mini Village Loop. Very simple, very easy to do. 2 laps. Go right now. So here we are at a new track, new course, same map, way behind the start and finish line, but who even cares about this one? So let's start off this time trial. Hopefully it's going to be effortless here in 3, 2, 1, get another launch, go. Still worthless with another launch, basically like every single automation BeamNG vehicle. It depends on the vehicle. Alright, going to a hard right. Did just as fine, and extreme downhill. Look at this. Extreme downhill. First checkpoint. Get a better camera going. I swear. Hard right did not work. And I swear if we get stuck into some vegetation. We are seriously stuck into some goddamn vegetation. This is extremely ridiculous. So the game was right about understeering. So this thing understeers at like 20 miles an hour, like 15 miles an hour, but doesn't understeer. It turns as well when you're going like 15, like 15. Not too bad. I was going around 20, and that bitch was understeering. Okay, get this uphill. 20. Okay. And first gear. So the car really goes at first gear. Second gear, on the other hand, not so but again. Almost got stuck there thanks to some understeering and nearly running into these shrubs here again, into the wall. I think this vehicle is basically an oversized bicycle that runs on gasoline. It's horrendous. It pretty much runs just as fast as a road bike on a straightaway, depending on your fitness age and your physicality. Yeah, this is the best we could do with this vehicle. Go around 50 miles an hour, nothing greater unless we're going downhill or going very, very long in them straightaways like you seen earlier at Garfield Heights. So with this very boring, yet simple time trial, we are going to get a time within the 50-second mark. So give me a second on this one. So a 50 seconds, 176 milliseconds, which gets our total time to 1 minute 53 seconds, 402 milliseconds. That is extremely horrendous. So veer right, crash into, let's find something, this tree right here, this tree, or this wall, and anything further. No, we're gonna ride the shrub. So ride the shrubs into that. It wants to end its life by just dropping it straight from the sky, and then drop this off to like probably brutal slope. So everything as is. Damn vegetation killed me and killed the view of what the vehicle would have been like. Crashing us at a very, very high speed. Let's just find somewhere, like toss it this open field and take a look at the aftermath destruction. So we got a loose black polygon. Engine is still running somehow. 3 of the 4 tires are busted out. We got the 203 inverted and expanded out pretty good. And shut the engine off so I can talk. Engine locked up. Nice. We killed it by just shutting it off. So there's the destruction of the vehicle. Loose polygons, compacted it down, and yeah, it's screwed up. So, like I said, Brutal Slope 2.0, mash this vehicle down further to a pulp by using this big-ass ramp here, and a little wedge pillar, and that's going to end off our video right then and there. Okay, so here I am at Brutal Slope at the top of the ramp here, or top of the hill going down the ramp, so it skateboards itself down very, very slowly, and first gear problems, engine locked up. Wait for the 0 to 62 time, it's 7.97 seconds at 301.46 feet. That is impressive for a vehicle like this, and we're skidding. We're sliding over the place because these tiny-ass tires, lack of grip, aerodynamics, and... Is it because we're going too fast we are skidding? Hold on. I mean, the tires are rolling just as fine, but... Really? Going 150 to 160-ish at the bottom of the ramp here. 159, and I swear. Whoa, the vehicle... Okay, we're doing okay. Doing okay. Exit speed, 85 miles an hour. Are we going to stay in the grass or get into the open grid space? It's going to be very close, so slow down. It's going to go into the grass, so stop. Get a camera going and see what it's like crashing face first at 122 miles an hour with a 0 safety, 0 quality, and negative 15 quality vehicle. So, here we go. There goes the back of the vehicle. Front end has been smashed in to bits. And full time. Track it. Loose tire. Grab the tire. Come on, grab the tire. Oh, what the hell? Grab it. That's gone. So, this is the vehicle in question, I swear. Grab the tire again and just yeet this thing. Like, that thing, like, really yeeted out of existence for some odd reason. It's because of just a very, very lightweight vehicle or because these tires are also lightweight. So, 30% strength. I yeeted it improperly, so whatever. Just like our last destructions, our last crashes, this is what we get. And let me take it to the wedge thingy, but instead, do an interior view. So let me get a camera going and take it to the wedge thingy here. So we're at the top of the ramp here, go to second gear, and dead. And relatively same 0 to 62 time, distance-wise and time-wise. So crash yourselves way down here, give myself a line, please, and crash down to a square block, which wedges your vehicle to get an interesting wedge shape of your vehicle. With this vehicle being at -15 quality for everything, I think this thing will be just a square, like almost like thin square, thin rectangle or something. So let's go to relative camera, and here's the interior view, our last interior view of the video. So slow it down to 2 times, we're jiggling, stop. Go to 100 times, hide the UI, and go. 100 times slow-mo, I'll get ready to go to regular camera, like the external camera. Right when I pulverize myself right here, boom, eat that sun, regular cam, and there you have it. We mooshed ourselves almost flat up against the wall, still full time. Jesus Christ, man, this looks pretty bad. There goes the tire that just went back at me and went back at the little square block here. So take you to the bottom of the ramp here, show the aftermath destruction here, and let's see. So, like before, damage the vehicle out looks like this is probably the worst it's ever been since the ETTE destruction by running it over. This is pretty much as bad or pretty much as worse it is, especially at the little wedge pillar or wedge block and doing a crash right here. This is very interesting. Relative camera, we are having a seizure. Let's get out of that before anybody gets sick. So that is it with the vehicle, I guess. No other ways to describe it, but just being flat as hell. So that'll do it with automation and in BeamNG.drive with the Villis Heaper 203. With this vehicle, I think to my knowledge, this might be the cheapest of all automation BeamNG.drive vehicles of all time. So with this vehicle, just don't buy it, don't drive it, and don't hit it because, one, while it's cheap, this thing won't protect you on any form of collision whatsoever. A fender bender, a typical overlapping crash, or driving down a highway and hitting a wrong way driver, you're basically dead on all those collisions. So kids, stay away from this vehicle at all times. And for those who are interested in this type of content, please be sure to like and subscribe so you won't miss out on any videos like this in the future. And also check out my social media, which is down in the description below. So this has been Mr. Jack and 000. I'll see you in the next video.